Hello everyone.
Hello.
Here we will start the session on sutta reading from Bhante Vimalaramsi's Moving Dhamma Volume 1. We will be reading from this book, and this book contains the explanation of Bhante Vimalaramsi's way of explanation is available in between the suttas, so that we can understand the sutta in a very detailed way. Before starting the session, I would like to read the Namo Tassa for 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Now I will be sharing the screen for of MN-20 from Moving Dhamma Volume 1 written by Bhante Vimalaramsi. Yes, I am zooming in. MN-20, the removal of distracting thoughts. Vittakasantana Sutta, presented on 19th February 2006 at Dhammadina Vipasana Center, Joshua Tree, California. BV, here BV means Bhante Vimalaramsi said, okay, the discourse I am going to do tonight is Sutta number 20 in the middle length sayings. It's called The Removal of Distracting Thoughts. Does anyone have any distracting thoughts they want removed? Yes. Thus have I heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living at Savati in Jitta's Grove, Anantapindika's park. There he addressed the monks thus: Monks, Venerable Sir, they replied. The Blessed One said this: Monks, when a monk is pursuing the higher mind, which in Pali is called Abhidhamma, higher teachings, and here he is referring to getting into the jhanas. Monks, when a monk is pursuing the higher mind from time to time, he should give attention to 5 signs. What are the 5? Here, monks, when a monk is giving attention to some sign, and owing to that sign, there arise in him evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion. Then he should give attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome. What is this talking about? This is talking basically about the part of the eightfold path that is generally called right effort. Right effort is recognizing when your mind has become distracted, letting go of this distraction, relaxing, smiling, coming back to your object of meditation, and staying with your object of meditation. I talked to everybody today, and one of the things that came up quite often was that their mind was very active. This is not bad. Just because you have an active mind doesn't mean that you have bad meditation. Meditation is about being able to recognize the movement of mind's attention from one thing to another, recognizing that attention movement when a thought arises and it pulls your attention away from your object of meditation. That is the feeling of loving kindness. and making a wish for your happiness or your friend's happiness. When you recognize that your mind is not on your object of meditation, then you let go of the thought or feeling, whatever it is that pulls your attention away from your object of meditation, you let that be. You don't try to throw down the thought, stop the thought, stomp on the thought, beat the thought up because it's there. You just recognize that the thought is there. Let the thought be there by itself. Don't keep your attention on it and then gently relax the tension caused by that mind's movement. Now smile and gently return to your object of meditation and stay with your object of meditation as long as you can. Sometimes your object of meditation is only going to be there for a part of one thought and then it goes back. Then you do the whole process again. Then allow the distraction to be there, relax, smile, come back to your object of meditation. It doesn't matter how many times in a sitting your meditation wanders away. Just because you have an active mind does not mean that it's bad meditation. Bad meditation or no meditation is recognizing that you are thinking something and you notice it, but you continue thinking. You're not meditating at all. You're getting involved with the story. You're getting involved with the liking or disliking of this something. The more you get involved, the less likely you are to let go and relax, come back. When a distracting thought or feeling arises and it pulls your attention to it, allow it to be there, but don't give it more attention. Even if you are in a mid sentence, just let it be. Every time mind becomes distracted away from your object of meditation, there is a tension and tightness that arises in both mind and body. That tension and tightness is what the Buddha called craving. Craving is the I like it, I don't like it mind. Right after craving, clinging arises. What is clinging? Clinging is all your opinions, all of your concepts about why you like or dislike the feeling. And then your whole habitual tendency arises, and you always treat this feeling in the same way. Our whole habitual tendency is always, when a feeling arises, is to try to think the feeling. The more you think the feeling, the bigger the feeling becomes, the more intense it becomes, the more attached you become to that feeling. When you notice that a feeling arises or a distracting thought pulls your attention away from your object of meditation, as soon as you notice it, let it be, relax, smile, come back to your object of meditation. It's always kind of comical for me because a lot of people, I will say, okay, tell me about your meditation. Ha, I had a great meditation. My mind just stayed on the object of meditation and didn't move at all. And it was just a great meditation. And I kind of owe him that, hey, okay, you had some candy. But if you come and tell me, ha, I had the most terrible meditation, my mind was all over the place. My next question to you is, well, did you recognize that? Did you let it be? Did you relax? Did you come back to your object of meditation? Oh, hey, I did all of that, but it is still kept on running around. Oh, you had a great meditation then, didn't you? It's exactly the opposite of what everybody thinks is a good meditation. Why? Because when you let go of the distraction, relax, smile, and come back to your object of meditation, you are building up your mindfulness muscles. You are building up your ability to observe what is happening in the present moment. You had an active meditation. That means you had to roll your sleeves up and you had to do some real work, but it was good meditation, just like lifting weights. You do that, you repeat it over and over again. Eventually, you start getting pretty strong. When you have an active meditation, it means that you are learning how to strengthen your mindfulness muscles. And this is great meditation. It's not just good meditation. Like I said, bad meditation is seeing that you are thinking about something and then you just get so involved with it that you don't want to let it go. Now you're not meditating at all. An interesting thing happens when craving arises. It always manifests in the same way as tightness and tension in your mind and in your body. And I told you that craving is the I like it, I don't like it, mine. What did we start off with here? I. This is the very start of the false belief, atta. That is, this feeling is me. This is mine. This is who I am. Only when craving arises, all of the thoughts about the feeling reinforce that belief that this feeling is me. This is mine. This is who I am. This causes mind to contract. Now, I want to explain about the process where Bhante is explaining the context. Basically, here in the sutta, it is talking about one of the part of the right effort, where here we can see we will be removing the unwholesome thoughts. In our 6R process also, we are removing the unwholesome thoughts by applying 6Rs. Like, first of all, recognizing that our mind got distracted, then releasing the distraction by not putting the attention on the thought, then relaxing the tightness present in the mind and body, then coming back on the smile, and then we are coming back to our object of meditation. Basically, Bhante is explaining about the 6R process, which we are practicing day to day. Like, the conversation here, which involves like there's a very active meditation for the students. Bhante says that even the active meditation is not bad meditation. Every Bhante regularly says that when we are starting meditation, we need to have sitting with a beginner's mind. And with beginner's mind, even the Delson says in his talks that we need to sit meditation with a beginner's mind. And we should not have any expectation. It's not that we have a bad meditation or good meditation. And basically we are improving whenever an hindrance arises. But they always says that hindrance are our teachers. It says like, let us say some hindrances arise. That hindrance teaches us where our mind's inclination is. Therefore, whenever a hindrance arises, we should take it as a lesson or we should take it as a friend. It is a good lesson, good teacher for us for knowing where our mind's attention is. And here, basically, Bhante is saying that whenever a distraction is coming, whenever a thought is coming, we should not force the thought not to come. Like, we should not beat the thought. We should not stamp on the thought. You just recognize that the thought is there and let it there by itself. And we will not get involved in it. And just after and just gently relax the tension in mind's movement and you should come back to the smile, and you come back to the object of meditation as long as you can. Allow the distraction to be there as it is. And here Bante is explaining about the bad meditation, which I have explained, and distracting thought. Like root of all this process is craving. And as you know, as we know, craving always manifests as tightness and tension in our mind and body. We need to relax the tightness and tension and come back to the smile. Craving is, as we know, craving is I like it, I don't like it, mine. And coming to clinging, what arises after craving is clinging. Clinging is like is all of your our opinions, concepts about what you like or dislike it. Like it is old habitual tendencies. By practicing the 6 hours over the period of time, what actually we are doing is we are removing our old habitual tendencies from unwholesome to wholesome. And whenever a student asks, uh, whenever a student tells that we have a terrible meditation today, then Bante asks few questions like, well, did you recognize it? Did you let it be? Did you relax? Did you come back to the object of meditation? These are the questions being asked by Bante whenever a student asks about terrible meditation. And it's not that every time it's a good meditation or bad meditation. Whenever a thought arises or any hindrances arises, we're actually building up our mindfulness muscles, as Bante is saying in this. And Bante is talking about the false belief, that is this every time whatever the arises, whatever the thing which is arises, let us say feeling, believing in false belief is that this feeling is mine, this is mine, this is who I am. And next we'll start reading. Only when craving arises, all of the thoughts about the feeling reinforce that belief that this feeling is me, this is mine, this is who I am. This causes mind to contract. With that contraction comes more of the same, your habitual tendency. In Pali, we call it bhava. It's always translated by most people as being or experience. But actually, for practical reasons, habitual tendency explains things more easily. At one time, I had a real good long talk with my Abhidhamma teacher, Sayadaw U. Silananda, before he died, that it was actually closer to a correct translation that we use the words habitual tendency. Now, what is habitual tendency? When this feeling arises, I always act that way. When a painful feeling arises, I always have the same reaction. Somebody says something to you, and all of a sudden your mind grabs onto it, and there's anger there. How did that occur? One of the things that I have to ask you to do, and this is a monk thing. And the Buddha said that we cannot give a Dhamma talk if people are sitting in a particular ways. Crossing your legs, crossing your arms. I have to ask you not to do that. Then I found out some years ago by talking with somebody that was a body language expert, and he did some experiments with about 100 people. He gave them information, but first he said, First, I want you to cross your legs and cross your arms. And then he gave them a test on the information he gave them. They got about 60% correct. Then he said, okay, uncross your arms, but keep your legs crossed. And they got about 70% correct. And then he said, okay, now open up, don't cross your legs, don't cross your arms. And he gave them more information, then got close to 90% of what he was saying. This is why the Buddha said that monks can give talks when there are certain kinds of body postures. Here Bhante is talking about sitting cross-legged during Dhamma talks. Like we listen to Dhamma talks of Bhante Vimalaramsi, he says not to sit in a cross leg. Bhante says it is a thinking posture. Practically, when someone holds hands in this way and listens, one's mind tends to thinking. Here, it is an apt example of on the research made by the body language expert. Like he was saying the results which he has got when the people were sitting in a cross legs with cross arms. It's a real good thing. Like we need to practice. Like I used to practice. Like initially, I used to hold hands whenever is something, whenever some talk is going on. Then later, I recognized that I need to uncross my arms, uncross my legs, and listen to the talk. I practiced it. I'm now implementing it. I advise you to do the same thing, like uncrossing your hands, arms, and uncrossing your legs while listening to the Dhamma talk. When we have craving arise, it always manifests as tension and tightness. I'm talking very subtle. I'm not talking about gross tensions. Although it turned into a gross tensions, there is a kind of sack wrapped around your brain called the meninges. And every time your mind has a thought in it, it contracts little bit. It's not real big, but it is noticeable when you learn about it. When I say to let go of the tension and tightness in your body, I mean I am meaning the gross tension and tightness of holding your hands tight or holding your shoulders tight or your back or wherever it happens to be. But I am also talking about the subtle tight tension and tightness that's in your head. It's a very important step about the relax process which we are learning. Here, basically, Bante is explaining about relaxing the tightness and tension present in the mind and body. Like basically, if you are holding an hand tightly, firmly, then we are getting a tightness over the fingers. When we unpack our hand or release the hand, we're just relaxing actually. Basically, we need to relax the tightness present in our mind. Everybody here right now has tension and tightness in their head. Notice that there is a subtle tension and let it go. When you let it go, you will feel a kind of expansion happen in your head, a release of tension, and right after that, your mind becomes calm. You will notice for a brief moment that there is no thoughts. There is only this pure awareness, and you bring that pure awareness back to your object of meditation. I know that there are some of you that have been practicing different kinds of meditation. And I will show you exactly why the Buddha's meditation, the way he taught it, works so well and is immediately recognizable and effective. When you practice normal meditation and your mind is on your object of meditation, it gets distracted. There are 3 or 4 different methods of dealing with this. One of them says you note it until it goes away. Another one says you let it go and you come back immediately. But what you are doing, what you practice when you practice, is this way this you are bringing that craving that you have it, let go of it back to your object of meditation. Eventually, your concentration starts to develop so it becomes very deep and it will start suppressing hindrances when they arise. There's a little problem with this because your hindrances are where your attachments are. Here, Bhante is talking about the craving, and Bhante is talking about the other kinds of meditation where one holds tightly, one when holds tightly, like in absorption concentration, where they says to observe the things tightly. And what actually during this course, what exactly when we do concentration meditation, we are holding something, but actually we are not letting go of thoughts. We're actually suppressing a thought. And when you are doing these kinds of practices, what happens actually is whenever your mind is out of this concentration level, then suddenly all the thoughts or hindrances comes up and you will get distracted. When you practice absorption concentration, you can get real peaceful and calm while your mind is absorbed. But when you lose that concentration, you have a hindrance coming up at you really heavily and you are not really very aware of it. The Buddha's practice is this. Your mind is on your object of meditation. That's the same. Your mind gets distracted. That's the same. And you let go of your distraction. That's the same. But where the Buddha's teaching is different. Is the Buddha said, tranquilize your body and mental formation, mind and body, before coming back to your object of meditation. It says this often. Here is the crux of our meditation practice, like tranquilizing your bodily and mental formation. Here, tranquilizing means relaxing, relaxing the tightness and tension present in mind and body. It says it in the Satipatthana Sutta, MN-10. It says it in the mindfulness of body sutta, MN-119. It says it in the mindfulness of breathing sutta, MN-118. It says it in the sutta number 62, where the Buddha is giving instruction on how to do the breathing meditation to Rahula, his son. I am going to read that to you just so I can let you know that this isn't my idea. Okay. This is the mindfulness of body sutta number 119. Says mindfulness of breathing. MN 119. Here a monk gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut sits down, having folded his leg crosswise, set his body erect, and established mindfulness in front of him. Ever mindful, he breathes in. Mindful, he breathes out. Breathing in long, he understands. I breathe in long. Or breathing out long, he understands. I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he understands. I breathe in short. Or breathe out short, he understands. Breathe out short. Did you hear me say no, nose, nostril, upper lip, or abdomen? No. It says you understand when you take a short breath. You understand when you take a long breath. Now, for the real instruction, he trains thus. These are the key words. He trains thus. I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body, not body of breath, the whole body, physical body. He trains thus. I shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body. He trains thus. I shall breathe out, breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains thus. I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. That's the entire instruction in how to practice mindfulness of breathing. And you have no idea how many times I have gotten in discussion with monks in Asia, with monks here, with layman teacher here, and I will say, it says that on the in breath you tranquilize your body formation, on the out breath you tranquilize your body formation. You tranquilize your body formation on the in and out breath. Do you do that? Well, no, I practice this way. Well, but the instruction the Buddha gave very specifically said you tranquilize on the in breath and tranquilize on the out breath. In other words, when you breathe in, you're not focusing on the breath. You see the breath and you relax. On the in breath, you see the breath and you relax. On the out breath, you relax. And on the in breath, you relax. On the out breath, you relax. That's quite different from the way in this country, in particular, meditation is being taught. Meditation is being taught to focus very deeply on the tiny sensation of the breath, but there is no relaxing that occurring. Here, Bhante is saying about relaxing, tranquilizing during in breath and out breath. Most of the meditations which being taught are like focusing very deeply on the sensation of the breath. There is no relaxing process. We need to add relaxed step as per the instruction, which becomes very wholesome. Like whenever you relax and come back to your object of meditation, then when you relax and come back to smile, every time you relax and come back to smile, then you are letting go of that thought. And whenever the thought arises next time, the intensity of thought reduces. I have run across a lot of people that have said, well, I become real peaceful and calm and serene. When you're practicing without the relaxation, your mind becomes absorbed. There's no hindrance that can arise. You have all sorts of things that are very nice states that your mind focuses on, but you're not practicing inside while you're practicing your breath meditation. You are practicing a form of absorption. If you don't have that relaxing, coming back to the mindfulness of metta, because that's what I teach. I teach insight in metta. There is that relaxing. I am continually talking about you see a distraction, you relax, any tension and tightness in your body, in your mind, let it be and relax. This is basically the same kind of instruction the Buddha was giving for the mindfulness of breathing. When the Buddha was Bodhisattva, he practiced the absorption kinds of concentration where he got to very deep states of absorption. But then he went to the teacher and he said, is this all there is? The teacher said, hey, this is it. This is as far as you can go. You can get to the first teacher. said the realm of nothingness. The second teacher said the realm of neither perception nor non-perception can get any higher. That's it. The Bodhisattva said, I am not satisfied with that. There's still something there that I am seeing. He said, there has to be another way. The meditation, the absorption meditation, has been taught from time immemorial. Everybody practices that in one form or another. It doesn't matter what religion you're talking about. When they are talking about some form of concentration, they are talking about absorption types of concentration. I was in Burma for almost 3 years. I had the opportunity to go and study with some really, really good scholars. One of the scholars was at the Sixth Buddhist Council, and he was the chief answerer for the Sixth Buddhist Council. He is called the Bingon Sadev. He had memorized over 12,000 pages from the suttas and commentaries. He took a test. You know how everybody here they complain because there's a 4-hour test I have to take when you are going to college. Ah, it was a killer. He took a test 10 hours a day for 30 days in a row. He got better than 90% correct on everything that he did. I mean, this man had an amazing mind. He knew the suttas unbelievably well. I went to him and I said, Bhante, where, where in the sutta does it mention access concentration or moment to moment concentration? And he said, it's not in the suttas, that's in the commentary. I asked him a lot of questions in a lot of different ways. Basically, the same thing about absorption concentration. Is that really what the Buddha taught? And he said, no, it was different because of the tranquilizing. Well, why aren't we teaching that now? Because the commentaries don't agree with that and we go with the commentaries. Here, basically, Bhante is saying about the concentration meditation. In concentration meditation, we hold on thought, and in concentration meditation, generally, people do not make a relaxed step like releasing the tightness present in mind and body. Because of the missing step of relaxing and smiling, they will be absorbed in the concentration meditation and they feel peace and calm only during the meditation. And after coming out from the meditation, they will not feel peace and calm. And whenever a thoughts comes up, all comes at a time during the process of the concentration meditation. But in our practice of Siksar, whenever we release or relax any hindrances arising, first of all, we recognize, then we release from the thought that is coming back, coming out of the thought, and relaxing the tightness and tension present in our mind and body. And then we smile it and we come back to your object of meditation of loving kindness or any jhana which you are practicing. During this process, we are actually like unfolding, like we are transforming ourselves from unwholesome mind to wholesome mind. Therefore, we need to continually practice our 6 hours with relaxed step. This is a very important step. Relax and smile step. The relaxed step, actually, we are relaxing the tightness present in our mind and body. Just relax and come back to smile, and then come back to your object of meditation. And next, Buddha taught in this way the tranquilizing step. I have now let go of the commentaries, but I still use them occasionally. because there's some real good points in the commentaries. And I always check it against what it says in suttas now. When I started going to suttas, I started seeing a definite different type of meditation that the Buddha was teaching. Like Bhante was saying here, like whenever you read suttas, you will get a good points to remember. And we have to compare with our practice. We can compare with our practice. In this country, in particular, there's an awful lot of people that are very much interested in a quote straight vipassana. When you look up the word vipassana in the suttas, you get all of a different references, the sutta that it goes to, and then you look up the word Samata and you go to those references, you start seeing that Vipassana and Samata are always mentioned together. The word Vipassana in the suttas is mentioned just over 100 times. I don't remember the exact number. The word jhana is mentioned thousands of times in conjunction with Vipassana and Samata. Here Bhante is saying that Vipassana he could able to see he could able to mention about in suttas it is mentioned around only 100 times, whereas the jhana is mentioned in suttas 1,000 times, and that is within conjunction with like the samatha and vipassana words are used together. What did the Buddha teach? Did he teach straight vipassana or did he teach samatha vipassana? There is a sutta number 149 in the middle in sayings that kind of clears everything up. Let me see if I can find this part. It's not there. Okay, this is section number 10. If you want to go to it and read it yourself. MN 149 10. These two things, serenity and insight, samatha and vipassana, occur in yoga evenly together. It says that these two things, serenity and vipassana, insight, samatha and vipassana occur in yoga held evenly together. So there's a little interesting sidebar for you to think about. What the Buddha taught was how to have a still, alert mind that saw how things occur, how they occur. We don't care about why. Why is for the psychologist and the therapist. How does anger arise? What happens first? What happens after that? And what happens after that? You can be sitting in your meditation very peacefully, very calmly, and all of a sudden, somebody slams the door, they make a sound, doesn't matter what the cause is. And your mind goes, I hate that. I wished I could stop. How did that arise? Here, Bhante is talking about like wherever in suttas, many places, it was mentioned about samatha and vipassana. That is serenity and insight. And they occur together. Samatha and vipassana occur together. And actually, Buddha is talking about to have a still, alert mind and see how things occur. And we don't want why it is occurring in our meditation, why it was happened. We just observe how they occur. And let us see, for example, if someone sits in meditation and how one anger arises, what happens first actually? What happens first after that? And what happens after that? And if one goes sees it clearly, let us say somebody does meditation and someone is disturbing them, like knocking the door. What actually doing is our old habitual tendency says that I hate it. Who does that? The person who is hitting the door. We hate in general tendency. But when we train our mind says, okay, it is okay. Okay, first there was a sound. What was happening when someone is sitting in meditation? Like, okay, first there was a sound and there was a feeling, and it was a painful feeling, and there was a craving I don't like, and tension that they're clinging, and there's a habitual tendency of. When this kind of feeling arises, I always act with dissatisfaction. Actually, here the instances like whenever we sit in meditation and someone knocks the door, what actually happening is the sound of the door hits our eardrum, and due to our habitual tendency, and it is a painful feeling for us, and immediately that painful feeling our mind says that I don't like this situation, and because of that I don't like it, there is a tightness present in our mind, and there's a clinging, and actually we are reacting to it, reacting over and over again to a sound. Whose reaction is it? It's mine. I don't like it. I don't want it to be there. I don't like being disturbed. I. Where in fact sound arose, that's not good, bad, or indifferent, but it was kind of loud and it was a painful sound. Here Bhante actually is saying that sound is sound. It's not good sound or bad sound or indifferent sound. It's our mind which is perceiving to be a good or bad or indifferent. When your mindfulness is sharp, you will see that painful feeling arises and immediately relax. Then the craving doesn't arise and the clinging doesn't arise and your habitual tendency doesn't arise. Your mind is alert, bright, and you bring that mind back to your object of meditation. It takes some degree of practice because these things happen very quickly and it's hard to recognize them, what actually happened. What Bante actually is saying is like when you go on practicing the meditation regularly, your mindfulness gets developed. Because of development of mindfulness, whenever these situations arise, you will be relaxed, you will be bright, you will be alert, you will be coming back to your object of meditation, and you will not react to that situation, whatever it is happening. You just recognize, just relax at any tightness present, and you come back to your object of meditation. And basically, when the sound arose, there was a painful feeling, and then that I don't like it tension, and your concepts and opinions of the way things should be is fighting with reality, and that causes pain, that causes suffering, that cause all kinds of disturbance. Here, actually, whenever a painful feeling arises in our mind, and all our old habitual tendencies, old habitual concepts, opinions comes here, and they all causes to be a suffering. The way dependent origination works is very fast. Every thought moment, it has a dependent origination in it, like a snap finger. That was a million times. It happens over and over again very quickly. The more you identify with the dissatisfaction, the more the dissatisfaction keeps arising. The more you identify with it, the more pain you experience. How to let go of the pain? I used to get a kick out of one of my friends that was a Zen teacher, and he would teach people about Buddhism, and he would say Buddhism is about pain, and then he would just sit there and he would not say anything more. He didn't say anything about the cause of pain or the possibility of the cessation of the pain or the way to do it. He just said Buddhism is about pain. I know some people that are teaching vipasana that they can want to want you to have pain arise. So they tell you as soon as painful sensation arises, you put on your attention right in the middle of that pain and watch. Quote, its true nature. You are supposed to start at that pain in your knee or whenever it happens to be, and you watch all these different characters arise and pass away. But you are missing something when you do that. You are not seeing mind's reaction to the pain, which is tightened around it. Don't want it there. Pain by nature is a repulsive thing. Is the four noble truths being taught when they say, put your attention right in the middle of the pain? What I am telling you is when this feeling arises, pain is going to arise. Welcome to have a human body. What do you do with it? First, you notice all the thoughts about the pain and you let those thoughts go and relax. Next, you notice a tight mental fist around the pain. The truth is the when these kinds of sensations arise, they are there. Anytime you try to fight with the truth, anytime you try to control the truth, anytime you try to make the truth be something other than it is, this is the cause of suffering. What do I tell you to do? Allow the pain to be there. It hurts. Okay. It's a painful feeling. It's okay for the painful to be there. It has been okay because that's the truth. Allow the painful feeling to be there and relax into that. Bring your smile back to your object of meditation. What actually Bhante is saying is like we should not try to control the truth actually. And anytime, whenever we try to control the truth, then it is the cause of suffering. The Bhante says here. I think it is a long sutta, and we can continue here. And do you have any questions? कुछ क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. Otherwise, we will end with sharing merits to all. I am opening the sharing merit. We will read the sharing merit together. And I thank all of them for giving me opportunity to read this Bhante Vimalaramsi. Now we'll read the sharing merits together. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all beings be happy. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, beta.
Thank you, Mami.